crafty friends, and happy Friday. Happy Flosstube Friday. We've made it through another week, and there wasn't an armed insurrection, so yay. I hope you're all doing well. I hope the week has been good for you. I know Wednesday was full of lots of emotion. I'll talk about that in a minute. Hold on a second because the cats are getting into things again. Loki is determined that he's going to get on the stand where my TV is and knock it over and make me very unhappy. So, but I'll get into Wednesday here in a second. I have lots of stuff to show you today. I have lots of plans to talk to you about, and this weekend is the first 24 hours of cross stitch marathon weekend for the year. So I will talk about my non-plans for that as well. So first and foremost, once again, I'm going to talk about current events. I'm going to talk about stuff on Wednesday. Hopefully, well, I know at this point I have a lot of positive things to say, so hopefully that's not triggering for you. But as always, if it's going to detrimentally affect your mental health, then please get forward, because your mental health is important to me. It's important to me that you take care of yourself. So there's that. But let's talk about Wednesday. So I watched the inauguration. Working from home makes it really, really convenient to be able to see things like this on television. So I was able to have it on most of the day, or have all of the precedings and post-seedings and all the things on most of the day. And the inauguration itself was incredibly moving for so many different reasons. Watching Vice President Kamala Harris make history was obviously moving. If you watched my Knitcast on Wednesday, you'd know how important that is to me, how much it means to me, not only as a woman, but not only as a woman, but as a daughter of a woman who worked really hard to help us get to this place in America where women can have positions of power, can be in positions of power. So yeah, incredibly moving, still moving. It's inspirational. So that was fantastic in and of itself. I really appreciated President Biden's inaugural speech. I felt like he really did a good job of calling for unity without asking us to forget the trespasses that have happened recently and over years, decades and centuries. Recognizing that we're in a difficult place and that it's going to take work, but that he's willing to do the work. So we'll see how he follows up on that. But it was a really good start. And I already said on Wednesday that I appreciated the pre-inaugural ceremony that they did to honor those who've lost their battle with COVID. That was a very, very important move in my opinion. But in addition to that, even in the last 2 days, I feel like so much action has been taken, so much more action has been taken in the last couple of days than I feel like we've had in probably at least the last year of the last administration. So I have a lot of really positive and hopeful feelings, and I'm feeling very, very good and much more optimistic about the direction of our country right now. And yeah, so the inauguration was really, really good. And I have to say, probably the best part of the inauguration was the National Youth Poet Laureate, National Youth Poet Laureate. We're going to go with that version. I can't remember what order the words go in. Amanda Gorman, who is the current, or actually she's not the current, she was the first National Youth Poet Laureate for the United States. Her poem, The Hill We Climb, her delivery of the poem, her presence, her emotion, her emoting for the entire thing was nothing short of phenomenal. What a fantastic young woman. What a talented, phenomenally amazing young woman to stand up there and represent the youth of America. And not only that, but her poem was out of this world. If you did not hear it, I will try to remember to put a link here in the description box, not even all the way in the link haven, but in the description box for you to go and watch her or listen to her read her poem at the inauguration, because it was fantastic. It was beyond words. She managed to capture the zeitgeist in a way that poets 3 times her age struggle to do. It was just, it was an interesting, not even a counterpoint to President Biden's speech, but it flowed and reminded us of the things that are important, and reminded us that not only do we have a lot to work on, like there's a lot of work to be done. We are nowhere near where we need to be, but that we can do it. We can do it. We just have to work for it. And that was fantastic. So fantastic. I get chills thinking about her words because they were so perfect for the moment. And certainly I got chills listening to her. So you need to listen to her if you have not already. If you already listened to her, then you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that had to have been the best part of the inauguration. So that was Wednesday for me. And so I will say I spent a lot of the day in tears. Mostly happy tears and tears of relief and tears of joy, just for feeling like maybe the reign of terror is finally over. And I know a lot of us are feeling this way. I'm still, like I said on Wednesday, I'm still a little anxious. Just because there's a part of me that feels like it's not safe to completely let down our guard yet. Because a certain someone is still lurking. Like, maybe he's gone away to sulk. Maybe we won't hear from him in any significant way for quite a long while. But there's a very loud contingent that still follows him and still believes in the lies that he told. So we need to be vigilant. Yeah, but I feel so much better, y'all. I feel like I can breathe. So, as I've said before, I don't necessarily feel like, Biden is the end all be all. Like, he's going to fix everything for us. Like, everything's going to be amazing under his administration. But if the last couple of days are anything to judge by, I think at least we'll have positive change. We'll have changes that put us back in a direction that we should be going. And that's important. There's a lot of change I want to see in our government. Not just now, but in general. There's a lot of stuff that's just messed up. And I would like to see a change. But anyway, that's for a whole other conversation. I've already talked about what I wanted to talk about. So I could go on a whole long rant about what's wrong with the government and the U.S. And I will just say, I don't necessarily, I'm trying to remember, there's a couple of policies, a couple of executive orders that I was kind of like, but at the same time, there were so many more executive orders that I was so on board with, specifically rejoining the WHO, starting the process of rejoining the Paris Climate Accords, various other things. Everything to do with the pandemic. Like, let's actually have a plan for the rollout of the vaccine. Wouldn't that be nice? And bringing Fauci back to the forefront of that effort of, just examining the science and talking about the science of the pandemic. How, that was one of the few things that gave me some comfort in the previous administration, was the fact that Anthony Fauci was at the front. In the beginning, was at the front of a lot of the talk about the pandemic, because he gave me confidence that he knew what he was talking about. And in the beginning, it seemed like the administration was listening to him. And then it got to the point where he wouldn't let himself be silenced. He wouldn't let himself be talked over or misrepresented when he was talking about the science. And of course, that was not okay. So he got pushed backwards. But I'm glad to see him at the forefront now, because I feel very confident in his expertise, in his knowledge, his reliance on the science to tell us what we need to do. And I know there's a lot of folks that don't understand why at the beginning of the pandemic some things were said, and then a few months later other things were said, and then several months later other things were said. That's how science works. And y'all probably know this. I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but that's how science works. You understand certain things when you go in to a pandemic, when you go into study of a new virus or a new illness or whatever, you have a certain base of knowledge at that time. And then through science, you study that disease, you study how it works, you study how it spreads, and you learn new things. And based on those new things that you learn, you change what you thought before, because that's how science works. You study and you learn, and then you have to change the assumptions that you had because those assumptions were wrong. And it's okay to admit that those first assumptions were wrong. That's science. That's science. Okay, anyway. That's science. Anyway. So we're not going to get into a huge debate over which policies we like and which policies we don't. Let's just all agree that it's awesome that we have some real leadership when it comes to dealing with the pandemic. So let's move on. Let's move on to other stuff. So it is Friday. I love Fridays. I have some happy mail. I have some purchases, not a lot, but I have some purchases, and I have whips, and I have plans. So let's get into it. My happy mail, and this is super cute. So Tracy Horner of Ink Circles, I am a patron of hers on Patreon, and she has lately decided that she's going to send all of her patrons, I don't think it's a particular tier, I think it's from a certain tier up. She's going to send all of her patrons mail, as long as it fits in an envelope, so that she can buy a postage stamp so that she can support the USPS, and I'm all about that. So this is the happy mail she sent this month, and this is a stamp I'm pretty sure that she designed, and it looks really, really cool. I love it. I'm so happy that I was able to open the envelope without completely destroying the design, so that's awesome. Apologize, now my nose is running because I got verklempt, so that's how it happens. So first and foremost, she sent me this card with a really cool design, which I might have to color in because it just screams, please color me. And there's a very nice little note wishing me health and happiness in the new year, thanking me for my support in 2020. Focus, please. Focus, please. There we go. Okay. And then I got some, I think these are like gift tags or project tags, but they all have her designs on them. You can kind of see, I'm not going to take them out of the bag right now, but they've all got the different mandala designs, and then a mandala sticker, which is really, really cool. I'm wondering if this is a waterproof sticker. I have a Yeti can cooler, and I've been collecting stickers to put on the Yeti can cooler. So if I can figure out if this is waterproof, I may put that on my Yeti cooler. So my Yeti can cooler. Yeah, so that was really cool. I like that. Thank you, Tracy of Ink Circles. I enjoy supporting artists, and she's one of my favorites. So that is my happy mail. I showed you most of my happy mail last time, pardon me. Give me just 1 second to just, yeah, I'll be right back. Okay, that was bugging me. I don't know if it was bugging you. Let's see. Okay, so that was happy mail. Let's talk about, I had a start and a finish this week. If you follow me on Instagram, then you've already been spoiled. If you do not follow me on Instagram, I joined in on quirkyquakersal, hashtag quirkyquakersal, last weekend, and I worked on fishbone. This is a free pattern, so this is, I guess, it's a Quirky Quaker, but it's not a numbered Quirky Quaker, because this was an extra pattern that was exclusively designed for a collaboration. I can't remember with whom, but Deanna also, once the collaboration was finished, she's made this available for free on her website. She just asked that you donate to an animal-related charity of your choice as payment. I'm still deciding which charity. Now I have recently, I talked about the fact that I donate regularly to For Love of Poodles and Pets, because they helped my husband and I rehome my mother's Chihuahua after she passed. But I've recently discovered a charity or an organization, rescue organization, that assists with larger dogs in the Richmond area. I'm considering possibly donating to them, especially because they just got they recently took in a dog from an abusive situation, and she had puppies. So I may go ahead and donate to that. I haven't decided yet. I'm still looking for a cat-specific organization, and I thought also, in fact, I might make a couple of donations. I might donate to the new organization that I found. I forget, it's like Rough something in Richmond. I have it on Facebook. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, so there's that, but also I may just donate some money to the Humane Society that we adopted our babies from. So we adopted our babies from the Disputana Humane Society, and so I would certainly like to thank them and assist them in their efforts since they brought our babies to us. So anyway, there's that pattern, and I used, let me see, I get the white part of the paper, not the pattern part of the paper. I used this gorgeous floss. So this is Color and Cotton Galactic, and it's not showing up real well. The lighting is terrible today. The sun is not quite up, so it's all weird, but it's blue and purple if it would focus. Please, there we go. So it's a gorgeous like electric blue and purple. I really, really like it. And here is my finish. So it's super cute. I made several mistakes. I don't know if y'all can see them. I don't really care. I'm gonna leave them in because that makes it unique to me. But the first thing I did, this is 40 count fabric, y'all. You can see it's obviously a scrap. I got this from my scrappy bag that I just showed you that I got from Misty at Mystic Fabrics. And I was just like, well, this is the color that I want to use, so I'll go ahead and use this. And I kept looking at it going, why are the holes so tiny? Why am I having such a hard time? Because I have a different pair of glasses that I put on when I'm stitching. I have magnifying readers that I put on when I'm stitching. And even with those, I was having trouble. And usually with 28 count and 32 count, I don't have any issues. If it's dark and it's opal fabric, sometimes it's a little troublesome, but generally I don't have any issues when I'm wearing my readers. With this, I was just like, I still can't see the holes. Why can't I? And I had checked this. I had checked this with my gauge before I started stitching so that I could measure and figure out where to start. And, you know, I was like, well, maybe it's 32 and it's not 28, or maybe it's 36, but no, it's 40 count. It's 40 freaking count. So that's why it took me so much longer than I expected it to, because this is 2/2 on 40 count. I don't know why the stitches are not super puffy, considering it's 2/2 on 40 count. Maybe it is 36 count. I think it's 40 count. Regardless, it's really high count, and I had not intended to do that. But it looks really cool, and in the end, I did on a high count, and yay. So, but the important part is that I joined in Quirky Quakers, and I finished Quirky Quakers, so yay. I may do some more Quirky Quakers this weekend. We'll see. I haven't actually made specific plans about what I'm doing for 24 hours cross stitch, but I'll talk about that more in a minute. Can you hear Loki peeping in the background? He's excited about something. He peeps when he's excited. So, my silly, silly peepee boy. Okay, so that was a start and a finish. I started on a Saturday. I finished it, I think I didn't finish it till Monday because I was just struggling. Part of it was when I started it, I was stitching in hand. And that's well and good when you're working on a 28 or a 32. I think when I get into the higher counts, stitching in hand becomes a serious problem. And so it was taking forever because I was trying to stitch it in hand. I finally put it in a hoop. It went much faster. So yeah, so that was that. Let's talk about whips. So since we're talking about whips, let's talk about Whip Go. Y'all, I had no idea. I don't know if I set my goals too low. I feel like I set my goals realistically for myself, knowing how I do things. But I have blasted through all of my goals, including my extra goal for the free space. So I can't remember if I mentioned this before. Let me... So this is easier than finding a picture and putting it up in the post-production. So space 13. is designed to be a free space. So I didn't have to do anything for space 13. I could just count it as one. I didn't actually have to do anything for that. I decided, since I started Gamer Nouveau on January 1st, I decided that I wanted to make that my square 13 goal, my free space goal. So I decided I would put 1,000 stitches in Gamer Nouveau, and I did. I put in 1,000 stitches on Gamer Nouveau. Let me show you it. This is going to be me trying to hold multiple things. So I believe when we talked last Friday, I had a little over 100 stitches left toward my 1,000 stitch goal, and I have done that. And you can kind of start to see that there are some slightly lighter shaded stars in the background there. So that's what 1,000 stitches looks like on a giant massive piece like this. So it looks pretty cool. So I met my free space goal, and that actually is pretty typical for myself. So I didn't have to do a thing. I decided to do a thing. And don't you know that the thing I didn't have to do was the first thing I finished. Because why not? So I won square 13 by actually stitching it instead of just declaring it a free space. And then I moved on to Dark Queen, and Dark Queen went so fast. I had not expected to, but I actually got all 500 stitches in one day. I just sat down and stitched, and it was going so fast and so fun that I was just like boom, 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 and it was done. It's like boom, boom, pow. Okay. So here is Dark Queen. She has a full torso, y'all. And I am almost finished with this particular drop of the pattern. So this section with her hips and the beginning of her thighs and the upper part of her waist, all of that was, I think that was October's drop. Because the fish were the very first drop, that was September, and then her hips and everything were October. So obviously I haven't finished the fish because there's 3 fish. I just got one little fishy, and my little fishy doesn't have a name yet. But all I have left to do, I think I have 1 or 2 colors left to stitch. Let me hold it closer so you can see. Hold me closer, tiny dancer. Okay. Apparently in one of those moods where everything is just going to trigger a song lyric. So yeah, I think I've got 1 or 2 colors left in this lower portion down here, and then that part of the pattern will be finished. So this weekend I will probably go back to her and start on November's drop, which would be adding in her chestal area and her arms. Now, for those of you in the know, if you know, you know. I don't know where I watched Just Keep Stitching the other day, and they just kept saying, "If you know, you know." I don't know where that comes from. If you know, you know. I guess I don't. Anyway, whatever. But if you are stitching on this, or you've been following this along, you know that there were a couple of different options for the chestal area for the upper torso, let's say. So you can do her bare chested, or you can do the covered chest. Me personally, and it's not that I have anything against nudity, because tasteful nudity is totally fine in my book, but I don't need a topless octopus lady. I just don't. Also, aesthetically, I didn't care for the way that version looked. I liked the colors better, the appearance better on the covered torso, so I will be doing the covered chest. Likewise, when it comes to the face, because there are a few options for the face, I will be doing the main version of the face and not the alternate version of the face. It's just an aesthetic choice. It's nothing against anybody who had anything to do with the designs. It's just an aesthetic choice on my part. It's just what I prefer artistically. So I'll be sticking with the covered chest once I get the arms in there. I think I have decided I'm going to do a pink purple ombre for the hair, but that is ages and ages away. Because I will tell you, 500 stitches basically just got me this area down here. and I can't, yeah. So that area got me 500 stitches. So that gives you any idea. There's probably somewhere between, I would say 2,000 and 4,000 stitches per drop for this pattern. So 500 stitches barely puts in a dent. But I wanted to keep my goals achievable for me, and I don't always have, you know, for me, for this pattern, probably 500 stitches only took maybe 3 hours or 4 hours, because there's not a lot of color changing. There's a lot of blocking, and I'm about to lose my needle. This particular section especially was a lot of color blocking, so it was pretty quick to stitch. So it went pretty fast. But for me, essentially, 100 stitches equals 1 hour. So if I space it out in hours and I go, okay, well, I can dedicate 5 hours to 2 or 3 different pieces and still have time to stitch some other stuff, that's achievable to me. If I say I'm going to put 10 hours into 2 different pieces and then still try to have time to do other stuff, especially if I want to do things that are not cross-stitching, it doesn't leave me a lot of time. So even though I blasted through this, I kind of feel like I need to check myself before I wreck myself as far as extending my goals for my other stuff for the rest of WIPGO. So I'm very excited that I've gone through my goals like I have, but rather than going, okay, let's bump up everything else, let's see how the next couple months go. Now, if I'm into March and I'm just like sailing through these goals, then I will start to pick some stuff up and we'll go from there. But anyway, there is my beautiful Dark Queen. She's fantastic. I will probably work on her some more this weekend just because she's awesome. She's awesome. I love this artwork. I love stitching it. It makes me so happy. So that was box 13, which was the free space. That was box 18, which was the Dark Queen. And then box 6 is Grimm's Fairy Tales. Excuse me. This one has not gone as quickly as I would like. And part of it is that I got to a section where there's, because of where I was working, the part of the pattern that I was in, there were lots of color changes and moving around, doing all kinds of stuff. So that is less fun for me, the bouncing around and the counting and things like that. And some of these colors are not coming out real great. But before I started, I was missing the lightest pink on all of these flowers. The rest of that border was finished. And so basically I finished the light pink and then I worked across here and then I added these motifs here and this and that motif and then this one. And now I've started on, I think this is a knight and a castle. So that's going to be Rapunzel and the knight. And he doesn't have a head. Like I probably should have stitched the head first, but here's my thing. So I want more representation in my cross stitch. And as you can see, because I started this before I started thinking about representation and how representation matters, there's a lot of white folks already on here. I started thinking about representation when I had started Hansel and Gretel, but I didn't want to change the colors of those guys and have it, like, I didn't want to make the witch a person of color and then have folks feel some kind of way about that. Because I just didn't want anybody to feel negatively about it. So I left all those in their called for colors. I did the Princess and the Frog before I thought about it. So all those folks are white, but I am going to change the skin tones for Rapunzel and for the knight, and probably for a lot of the other characters that show up in the rest of this, just because, I'm sorry, I'm leaning on the table, so it's shaking. But representation does matter. I want my cross stitch to show that representation matters to me. So I haven't done his head and his face yet because I want to go look at Lord Libidan. Excuse me. Lord Libidan does a lot of really awesome cross-stitch how-to and cross-stitch advice stuff, and my understanding is that Lord Libidan has done a color conversion, a skin and hair tone conversion chart sort of thing, where I can kind of go and look and see what might be good colors for skin tones. So I'm going to convert those skin tones and those hair colors. Rapunzel will very likely not be blonde. I have a thing with blondes too. It's Anyway, that's completely outside of anything else. So I'm going to change her skin and hair color. I will likely change the knight's hair color, but definitely be changing his skin tone. So that's why he's just a little shirt and he's part of a set of armor or something. That's about all that's there. And then I got over to the castle and was like, I'm just going to put in a bunch of stitches with the castle. So I'm actually I'm more like 700 stitches in on this one, so I may go ahead and push it to 1,000 because I was realizing this past week that you can work ahead on your goals. Like, you can't count the square until the square is called, but you can work on that goal early if you want to, and then you've done the goal, and then when the square is called, boom, you have a square. So I'm going to go ahead and put in another 500 stitches, or I'm going to make sure that I get to 1,000 stitches on this one before I put it away. And that way I will have completed both squares. So that's square 6, and where else does it pop up? Square 19. So 6 and 19 will both be completed. 19 I can't count until it's actually called, but it will be done. That way, if I want to take this off the Q-snap and put it away for a while, which I might do, then I don't have to feel bad about it, because when 19 comes up, I'll basically get a break. So yeah, so that's all my whip goals. I completed WhipGo goals. I completed all 3 of my WhipGo goals, and it's only the 22nd. I still have 9 days of January to do stuff, y'all. Like, what? Yeah. This is weird. Like, meeting my goals early. I don't understand. So, especially with it being a 24 hours of cross stitch weekend, it's like, well, what do I do now? I can't work on February yet because first of all, I don't even know what squares are available for February. And I can work on stuff early, but at the same time, it's like, what? So I don't want to do a bunch of new starts because I'm getting ready to do a bunch of new starts in February. I do need to do a bunch of kitting up. So I feel good having my goals under my belt because that means I can be free. If I don't want to stitch for the next week, I'm totally cool. It also actually, it gives me some time to work on my model stitch, which I need to put in some good hours on it. So I'll dedicate at least some of my 24 hours of cross stitch weekend to working on my model stitch. It's not due for quite a while, but I need to get some work in on it. I took basically a break over Christmas and I haven't worked on it in a while. So I need to get some more stitches back in it. So yeah, I will do that. But like I said, I don't want to do a bunch of new starts because I'm going to start a bunch of new stuff in February, but I can start or keep working on kitting all that stuff up. Which actually brings me to a thing. Speaking of kitting up all of my February stuff, a while back, and I forgot to mention this, a while back I won a contest. So Kansas City Girl and a Colorado World and Abby Top Knot Stitcher had joined together to do a promotion. And I wasn't really paying a lot of attention to the promotion. I was mostly paying attention to the 15% off coupon. But apparently the promotion was that if you purchased from Abby Top Knot Stitcher's shop using the Kansas City Girl and the Colorado World promotional code during a certain period of time, you were entered into a drawing for a $50 gift card at Abby Top Knot Stitcher shop. Whoa. So I had made a purchase, and I actually showed you what I got. It was the Christmas tree needle minder, as well as the set of 3 needle minders with the 2 poison bottles and the moon. That's what I purchased using that 15% off. And so I got that, I showed it to you, and then a week or 2 later, I randomly got tagged on Instagram, and it said that I was a winner, and I was like, what did I win? What happened here? So I got the communication and everything. It was a $50 gift card to Top Knot Stitcher shop. $50, y'all, $50. So anyway, so I saved that up, and because I wasn't sure what I wanted to give. I usually buy needle minders from Abby because she has fantastic needle minders, and because most of the other stitchy things I can get through other sources wholesale. So I have a tendency not to purchase unless it's specialty fabrics I will buy. But like Weeks Dye Works, Colorworks, Classic Colorworks, most patterns, if they're available through my distributors, that kind of stuff, I will generally purchase for myself wholesale while I'm purchasing stuff for the shop, because why not? But I've been having trouble. I lost my train of thought. I've been having trouble getting certain colors of Week Style Works and certain colors of Classic Colorworks. And I had several patterns that I was trying to kit up for February. So I went to Abby's shop. I was hoping she'd have some gentle arts that I needed too, but she didn't have those. But she had pretty much all of the Classic Colorworks and all of the Week Style Works that I needed, that I still needed, that I wasn't able to get through my distributors. She had all of those. And so with my $50 gift card, I finished kitting up, I think I can look at it actually. I finished kitting up my Blackbird Fractor. Yeah, I think I finally got all the colors for that. So I've got Blackbird Fractor finished once I received those flosses from Abby. Season's Blessing, I finally got all the things, and Holiday Flamingos, because there were a ton of colors that I haven't been able to get for Holiday Flamingos. So all of those, that's 4 charts altogether. No, I'm sorry, that's 8 charts altogether, because the flamingos are 3 different patterns. So that's all kitted up once I get those flosses. So that was awesome that I could do that for free. Actually, I paid $8 because I got a couple extra flosses, but but that was super awesome, and it's already on its way to me. I just ordered it the other day. It's already on the way. So yeah, that was fantastic. So if there are colors of Week Style Works or Classic Colorworks, check out Top Knot Stitcher Shop. She might have them. And like I said, as a seller, I've been having trouble getting them from my distributor. So she had some that I couldn't even get through my distributor, which is awesome. So definitely check her out. She's awesome. I haven't seen any new needle minders since Christmas, so I'll be on the lookout for new needle minders from her, because she's always making really cool looking needle minders. So, okay. So that was that. Let me look at my list of things. I talked about Whitgo. I talked about Quirky Quaker. Talked about Top Knot Stitcher Shop. I have a note here called More BIRBS. I don't know what more BIRBS I was going to talk about. I probably found yet more bird patterns that I was going to share with you, and now I can't remember what those were. Notes are not helpful if I don't if I don't put the stuff with them that matters. So apparently I've discovered more bird patterns. I know I was looking at Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, the winter edition for 2020. I was just looking at that yesterday or the day before, which means that's not what that note is about, because I wrote that note a couple days ago. Anyway, the newest issue of Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine has 2 more patterns, bird patterns, that you might be interested in. I think I printed those out, but I didn't bring them over here. Hold on. Okay, it was good that I decided to go pull that off the printer, because I remembered what more BIRBS means. So when I was purchasing some more patterns to put in the Etsy shop, I discovered these new ones, or new to me. I don't think that they're that new. Yeah, these were originally put out in 1995. But I discovered some new to me patterns from Bent Creek that have BIRBS on them. So this one, yes, this one. This is Red-Winged Blackbird from Bent Creek Classics. And this is Cardinal on an Egg. If I can get it to focus. The bag is not helping me. Okay, there we go. Cardinal on an Egg. So I found 2 more BIRB stitches that I'll be putting in the shop. I had hoped to put them in this week, but it's been a busy week. Lots of things going on. So these are 2 more options for February if you don't have, if you don't know what you're stitching or you need ideas. These are both pretty small. This one is 28 by 54 stitches, and this one does not have the stitch count where I can see it. But I imagine it's about this. It's actually going to be smaller, because the Cardinal is tall, so this is probably closer to like 30 by 30 or something like that. So these are nice small stitches if you want to stitch a burb, but you don't want to take a lot of time to do it. Those will be coming up in the shop hopefully by the end of the weekend, beginning of next week. Let's say the beginning of next week, because I'm going to spend most of my time stitching this weekend if I'm not spending time with my husband. So that's more burbs. Also, if you get primitive punch needle and primitive stitcher magazine, this is one of the offerings in the new magazine. This is winter cardinal etching, which I think is really pretty and classic. And I think that Bing Cherry would be fantastic for this cardinal. I really do. It is actually, I think it's designed, yeah, it's designed in Classic Colorworks. It has the DMC equivalents. But I'm telling y'all that that's got to be Bing Cherry. That cardinal needs to be Bing Cherry. Or possibly Dracula from Color and Cotton Words. Because Dracula has a little bit of black in there, which would be kind of nice with the cardinal, but I think Bing Cherry would be the bomb from Color and Cotton. It is, let's see, how big is this? It's not terribly big. I'm looking for the stitch count. It just says 9 by 9 inches on 32 count. Which is funny because it says 9 by 9 inches on 32 count, but the frame is 4.5 inches square. So 9 by 9 must mean that must include your extra for framing, because if it fits in a 4.5 inch square frame, that is not a 9 by 9 image. Yeah, so it doesn't actually say, but it looks like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 54 by 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, yeah, 54 by 54, about. So that would be a quick stitch too if you already get this magazine. If you don't get this magazine, I know you can purchase digital copies. I don't know if you have to get a digital subscription or if you can purchase individual digital issues, but I get mine digitally, and then I just print out specific patterns that I'm interested in stitching. I will say this month's offering, or this last offering, this last issue, had far fewer stitches that I was interested in actually doing than the average catalog than the average issue does. Most of the time I'm pulling, you know, somewhere between 4 to 6 stitches that I want to work on. This time I think that there was mostly this one. There is a Barbara Anna in almost every issue. This Barbara Anna was either built from one of the blocks of Santa's Ride, or it just mimicked a lot of the imagery from Santa's Ride. It was very much like the different blocks in Santa's Ride. So that, I mean, it looks nice, and I might stitch it, but I also plan to stitch Santa's Ride at some point. So yeah, so there wasn't a whole lot in this issue, but I did really love this cardinal. So anyway, so that's that. That will go in my stack of things to stitch, especially because this is only 2 colors, so that's super easy to sub out. And I've already picked Bing Cherry for the red, so I just need to pick a pretty brown, which I know I have some beautiful Color and Cotton primitives that I can use for the brown. So super easy. Yeah. So that's more BIRBS. Let's talk about purchases, and then I'll talk about plans. So I got some new flosses. I may have just found my brown. So Color and Cotton is getting back on their schedule for their Floss of the Month Club, and they have shipped November, and I received November. I get 5 of the bright variegated flosses, and I get 3 of the primitive flosses. And this brown is coming out real dark. Almost black on camera, but this might be just the right brown to go with my Bing Cherry. Let me see. Let me see. Do I have my Bing Cherry accessible? Here we go. Let's look at them together. These primitives are some of my favorites that I've gotten from Color and Cotton. So the super dark brown is called Caramel Brownie. I really like that. And you can see when I hold it closer and it actually focuses, you can see that there's much more nuance. It's not nearly as dark as it seems. I like that it's rich and variegated brown. That's very nice. Then there's Mulberry, which is a really nice muted mauve purple kind of color. I like that a lot. It reminds me of Sugar Plum from Forbidden Fiber Co. from the Crowned Winter box. And then this color is Mustard Seed, which is a very nice pale green. So now let's take, I think the reason that I love Bing Cherry so much is because it's such a vibrant, beautiful color. I'm not usually into red, but this red is like the red, y'all. It's like, I just can't get over Bing Cherry. It's my favorite red. I don't usually have specific colors from specific dyers, but this is my, and it's so blown out on camera, it makes me sad. It's so much more subtle than it shows up. Because it's deeper, it's not nearly that blown out. Though this is, I mean, that blown out red is a cardinal red, that's for sure. But it's so much more, it has more depth in person than it's showing up. It's got different shades, it's very tonal. So these together though, I think that's gonna be, that'd be really nice for that pattern. Yeah, so that's done. I just need to find a piece of fabric for it, which shouldn't be difficult. Let me not show you the chart. But yeah, so winter cardinal etching, kitted up, done. That's set. Okay. And I still have another skein of Bing Cherry because yes. So yeah, so that's the primitives words from November. I think December they've started shipping. I don't think I've gotten a shipping notification for mine yet, but I know that they've started shipping December, so it should be shipping anytime soon, anytime now. And I also have fabric grab bags coming from them, so yay! I hope the fabric grab bags will be here before February 1st, so that I can use those fabric grab bags for my February stuff to help kit up. So here are the brights, and they are very bright, which is nice. This is a neon, like yellow green. This is called a Wimbledon. Let me see if I can use my skin tone to try to make that. It's coming off way paler than it should. It's like, it's neon. This is called Snow Cone, which is another electric blue. And y'all know me and the electric blues. Love it. This one's called Salamander, which I think I just got in a grab bag. Do y'all remember? I don't remember. It's a pretty orange. Ooh, Tropical Sunset. This has to be my favorite of this pack, I think. So this is like pink and purple and orange variegated. Look at that. I like that. And this last one is Red Woolen Mittens. It's interesting that this is in the brights, because I would actually, I guess it's because it has a sort of lighter brick red, but also this brighter red mixed in. So yeah, those are the brights. I love my Color and Cotton monthly floss. It's my favorite so far. I'm looking at possibly joining Forbidden Fiber Co.'s monthly floss club. Theirs is pricier. You get more, but it is pricier. Theirs is $30 a month, whereas this is the two different packs, the 5 and the 3 together, cost me about $25 with shipping. Fiberlicious is $22 with shipping, and I am getting 5 flosses from them. Theirs are 10-yard skeins though, so it's a little bit more floss. So yeah, It's not that Forbidden Fiber Co. isn't worth it. I think they send you 10 skeins a month. It's just that it's a question of, do I want to put in the investment? So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm thinking about it. Thinking really hard about it. Because I do love Forbidden Fiber Co. Just all around, I love Forbidden Fiber Co. So those are my, minus the brown, which I've already stolen for a project. Those are my Color and Cotton November flosses of the month, which are going to go on the floss monster in the back here. In addition to those, I also purchased some Hand Dyed by Rolanda flosses. I caught her floss of the month this month, which I don't always see it when it goes live, so sometimes I miss out. And I never can decide. I'm always like, do I order just one? Do I order two? Because sometimes, like there was one that was a bunch of neutrals that I wasn't as thrilled with. And I think I did only get one pack and I was okay with that. But there have been a couple times where I've ordered a pack and I wished I had ordered more. So this time I ordered two, and I'm happy that I ordered two. I love these colors. So these are sort of autumnal. Let's see if I can hold one up so you can actually see the colors. So we've got this one has like the brighter reds, oranges, and browns, and then we've got this nice autumn orange, and then a purple blue. It's not focusing. Focus, please. This sort of autumn with muted blues, or I'm sorry, purple plum with muted blues, and then after that is that red that looks similar to the red woolen mittens. And then on the other end, we have that purple, red, blue mixture. So these are really nice. The colors are, it's not focusing very well for me. Camera's not playing well, because now the sun's come out, so yay. But those are really pretty, so I'm happy that I have two sets of those. I also ordered a skein. Is this silk? This is cotton, okay. She has started doing some 50-yard hanks now. And it may be that she has noticed that people love the 50-yard hanks, because I know she's tied into some of the cross-stitching communities, because when the Stitchy Shop Sundays and Saturdays come up, I see Hand Dyed by Rolanda posting her link there too, which always, it gives me a little thrill, because I'm like, I buy it from you already. But if she's in those Stitchy Shop groups, she's probably also in the fabric dyeing groups, where everybody's going crazy over the 50-yard hanks. So she started doing some 50-yard hanks. So you know I had to get one. Some of the colorways that I liked the best were already sold out, but I got this one, which I thought was really cool. So it's sort of a navy blue at the top, and we've got, it fades to this deep royal purple at one end, and then the other is that nice red. So that's a really nice colorway. That's going to be fun to stitch with. So those are my flosses, and I haven't gotten my I have not gotten my Be Stitch Me fabric for the month. I know she shipped it, but it hasn't arrived yet, mail. But I do have my very first piece of Fortnite Fabrics. What is it called? I want to call it Filthy Rich or Stupid Rich, but it's not. It's something rich. I've already forgotten what it's called. Anyway, it's the opal version, and I get a fat 1/8. This first month's colorway. It's called Work, bitch. But yeah, it's hilarious. I'm loving this color. This color is fabulous. I keep looking through the top of my glasses, and I don't know why. Okay. This colorway is awesome. I love it. So, it's this really nice ice blue. It's really pretty. And you can't see the sparkle, but it's got sparkle, y'all. Ooh, there's the sparkle. You can kind of see it there. Got so much sparkle. And I could totally get at least 4 small pieces on this. at least 4. So yeah, I'm very happy with that. I'm excited to see what next month will bring. So yeah, and I'm very happy that I got 8ths on this, because I will be much more likely to chop that up and use it versus my fat quarters. I'm always like, oh no, I can't cut the fat quarter. So that is very, very nice. Also, as a side note, since I'm talking about fabric, I ordered some new fabric storage. I actually ordered from, pardon the crinkling, let me finish putting this away. So I ordered a couple of clear acrylic storage drawers from the Container Store that I'm hoping will be the right size if I've measured correctly. They should be the right size for me to have my folded fabric like this stand up in the drawer, so I can pull the drawer out and I can see all the colors, which will make it easier compared to this. So this is pretty to look at because I can see the colors, and I can see half of what's available because there's a whole stack behind this that I can't see. So I can see what's available, but pulling out what I need is really difficult. So I'm hoping that the drawer will help with that. The drawer is going to have to go up here or somewhere else because the whole unit will not fit into these cubes. It's just slightly too big. So that's unfortunate, but I will have 2 fabric storage drawers where I can just kind of pull stuff out and look at it. So that's going to be awesome. Waiting for those to come in. Let me see. I had something else I was going to say, because that's all the purchases. There was something else that popped into my head that now I have forgotten. Whatever. Let's talk about some plans. So like I said, this weekend is 24 hours of cross stitch weekend. Since this is not a weekend where my husband is working, I'm not planning on dedicating like the next 72 hours to cross stitching because he'll be home and I'll spend some time with him as well. I will be doing, I think, the bulk of my cross stitching today and Sunday because I think he's going to go out and do some other stuff on Sunday. He's got his own plans for Sunday and for later today too. So I think I'll get a fair amount of stitching in today and on Sunday. So that'll be where I'll get the most of my hours in. I'm not stressing about 24 hours this time. If I can get it, that's great. But I'm mostly just going to plan on stitching as much as I feel like stitching. And I don't have a specific plan on what I'm going to work on because I think originally I thought I'll just work on my WIPCO goals. Well, I finished my WIPCO goals. So I probably will pull Dark Queen back on the stand and work on her after I get to 1,000 stitches here. I will probably also work on my model stitch this weekend. Since I have free stitchy time, I should put some hours in on that. It's also actually a great time to start some small stuff if that's something that I feel like doing. So I do still have the humbug. I still have my traveling humbug that I want to stitch and send back out into the world. I did get most of the called for weeks dye works. I wasn't able to get all of them, but I got most of the called for weeks dye works. So I think there's only 2 colors I didn't get. I can sub out for those, and that's if I decide to do the called for colors, which I still might not. I haven't quite decided. So that's something I might start this weekend. Trying to think if there's any other small stuff that's not bird related. Oh, other Quirky Quakers. I might work on some of the non-bird Quirky Quakers this weekend. We'll just see what I feel like doing. And that's basically what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna let my feelings guide me, and I will do whatever feels fun to do. As an additional note, separate note from plans, because that's all the plans that I have right now, other than kitting stuff up for February. I am almost at 500 subscribers, y'all. Like, I can't really fathom that there are 500 people who like me enough to subscribe to my channel. So I'm actually pretty constantly floored these days with the number of comments and stuff that I get. Speaking of which, everybody who commented on Wednesday's Knitcast video, and y'all know what I'm talking about because there was a section I wasn't sure. There was a section I wasn't sure I was going to leave in, and um, I did go ahead and leave it in, and thank you all for your kind comments on that section. That really meant a lot to me to read what you had to say about that, and that you were appreciative that I left that in. So thank you very much. It was a very vulnerable moment for me, and I appreciate that you all allowed me to have a safe space to be vulnerable. So thank you. That means a lot to me, and that's why it's unbelievable to me that there are 500 people out there watching me, because there are so many of you who reach out to me on almost every video, or most of my videos anyway, and say hi, or say thank you, or say whatever, yeah, just make a comment in general. And so you have all created this fantastic community around these videos, and I think it's super awesome. And I want to say thank you to all of you, especially those of you who've been here since the beginning. And there's a number of you who started watching when when I was first starting out and didn't know what I was doing. I still don't always know what I'm doing, but there are a whole bunch of you who've been here since pretty much day one. But I want to thank all of you for watching, for participating, for commenting, for being here and being part of this community. So it won't be very long before I hit 500 subscribers, and when I do, I'm going to do something to thank you all for being here, for sticking with me, for listening to my rambles, and letting me have a space to talk about things that I feel, and things that I'm thinking about, and stuff that's going on in the world, all that sort of stuff. So what I'm thinking is possibly kitting up a small pattern and giving that away. If there's something specific that y'all can think of that would be fun for a giveaway, let me know. I'm happy to consider ideas. I'd prefer to do something with stuff that I already have, just because then I can do the giveaway and I can send it out very quickly and not have to get anything in. But yeah, so that's kind of my thoughts. And I definitely, I want to send a big thank you to all of you. But certainly I want to do something extra special to thank you all for helping me get to 500 subscribers, because that's just phenomenal. I remember when I was excited that I got to 100. So this is, it's been a fun journey, and I appreciate you all being here with me. So yeah, so there's that. That was my husband. I don't think he realized that the camera was pointed this way. Anyway, so, and actually one last thing that's completely not cross-stitch related. I meant to say this in the beginning when I was talking about the inauguration. So what am I watching? I'm watching Angel. And I think, halfway or a little more than halfway through season 5. And I just have to say, and the reason that I'm bringing this up is because I just have to say, what WTF with Fred, y'all? Like, what even happened? Am I the only one who is just like, where did this come from? Why is this happening? What is this even? Yeah, I don't understand why. And I feel like sending a very strongly worded letter to Joss Whedon, because I want to be like, what is your deal with your female characters and making them all be possessed by random things? Like Cordelia was impregnated 3 or 4 times over the course of the series, and now Fred is this thing with Fred. And Cordelia already went through a thing, and now we're doing a thing with Fred. Like, why? None of the guys have to go through any of this stuff. Why only the girls? What is your problem with women? Anyway, so, and it feels so random, and I was just like, what are you even doing? What is even happening? And this happened shortly after I felt like we got a little bit of smoothing over with Cordelia's situation. So to give some background without giving spoilers, so stuff happened with Cordelia in season 4, and then she went away. The character went away. The actress was not asked to come back for season 5. But about halfway through season 5, she does make an appearance, and we're given some closure, and I felt like she was given an ending that she deserved. So I appreciated that. I was giving Joss some props in my head, and then the stuff with Fred came up, and I'm like, really, Joss? Really? And then it just keeps going, and I'm like, why? Why is this happening? This is not necessary. None of this is necessary. So anyway, if you have thoughts or opinions about the Fred situation in season 5 of Angel, I want to hear what you have to say. And maybe you can calm me down and let me know that it means something in the end, because right now I'm just like, this seems random and ridiculous and completely unnecessary. So anyway. So I don't normally end on a what I'm watching, but I wanted to put that out there and I forgot about it at the beginning. So, okay, folks, well, that's it for me today. I'm going to go ahead and let you go so that I can get to some stitching. I hope you have some great plans for this weekend. I hope you have a bunch of fun stuff planned, or even just some quiet stitching planned, whatever. I hope it's going to be fun. I hope you're going to enjoy it. I hope you're going to take care of yourself and be kind to yourself. And as always, here's your reminder. Make sure that you're drinking your water, make sure that you're taking your meds if you need them, and make sure to remember that good enough is good enough. I'll see you all next time.